Hey, what's up, brownies? Big brown browns, whatever you want to call each other. Fuck boys. If you're a girl listening, you're just, you're not including the fuck boy claim there, but you guys know what I'm talking about. What's happening? It is goddamn almost 1 o'clock p.m. on this lovely Tuesday afternoon. It's beautiful outside here in Los Angeles. A little later start to the show today. The worst traffic I've ever seen in my life. Now, I listen to other podcasts. I listen to other shows. When people talk about traffic where I don't live, I don't give a fuck. But hear me out here. The PCH, which is a main road that goes along the ocean, which is where I live, and the 10, which is a major highway here, was shut down for most of the morning. When I say traffic, I'm talking New York City, Manhattan, rush hour would look at us like, God damn, that's bad traffic. Like, it was parking lot. I was a mile and a half from my house, sitting in traffic for 45 minutes, didn't move once. I'm like, damn, I'm going to be late. I'm going to miss everything today. So I just got out and I started walking because I had to shower and change. So it's been a process. It has been a process. I knew something was going on because around like 4:30 in the morning, I could hear helicopters and police sirens. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Is Armageddon happening? And then I always go to like hashtag Santa Monica or at Santa Monica PD, and then they tell you what's going on there. There's some horrible accident, and then there's construction, something. Perfect storm, though. Anyways.
Wait.
What?
And it's also, people think tomorrow's the busiest day, right? For traffic.
Tomorrow should
The newest stats say that today, Tuesday, is the one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the most traffic.
I'm sure that has something to do with
Especially by the airport, too.
it. I keep forgetting that. Well, I don't live by the airport, but I keep forgetting.
We're by the airport, sort of.
Kind of, that's true.
Yeah.
It's never that bad headed this way. I keep forgetting it's Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't give a fuck. What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? MJ?
I'm just going over some family friends. Friends' families.
Frying up a bird.
Yeah. Gonna get into food coma.
Yeah.
Relax.
That's what everyone does.
Yeah.
Like it's the what do they call it? Tryptamine that the turkey releases makes you tired.
Tryptophan, I think.
Tryptophan. Yeah.
All right. What are you doing, Chin? What do Koreans do
Family.
for Thanksgiving?
Same thing, pretty much, but we do the same thing, but we add like little bits of Korean food in there too.
Like
so
what?
you'll see kimchi at the table,
Okay.
your rice, white rice,
That makes sense. Sounds nice.
like noodles, japchae.
With turkey?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Do you guys both do turkey? I'm imagining MJ has friends that don't eat meat. I don't know why.
Are you vegetarian, MJ?
No, I'm not. Not
You
at
eat
all.
meat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm an Irish girl. I love my meat, potatoes, and bread.
All right then. Yeah, so we're getting turkey too. And
The,
they're just
the whole
like
family comes around. Do you guys watch football and stuff?
No.
No,
We don't
no
have-
Thanksgiving football.
No. They watch
Fuck that,
Korean
K-pop?
variety shows and
Oh,
stuff
okay.
like that, yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. But we don't have much family here either. We have like my cousins and that was it.
Yeah, I have zero family here. Not my uncle passed away. Zero family here.
Sorry about
So I'll
that.
be with my girl's family. And then Tiger, his Thanksgiving, my son, so it'll be cool. But I just don't. It's just, to me, I know I sound like a grump. Holidays just fuck the schedule up. And especially in LA, being in entertainment, you guys got to realize something. It's a different town here. As far as entertainment, Hollywood shuts down from now. So basically, I'd say Wednesday, tomorrow, to the start of the new year, like January 7th. Like, really, it's tough to get anything going. Super tough to get anything going between now and then. If you're waiting for a show, if you're waiting to hear back from a call time, the auditions, whatever you're trying to do, if you're waiting on something, the wheels just aren't, they're not there. The wheels aren't in motion for that long time. Yeah, so maybe I just got to get better at vacations. I don't know, man. I do not know.
Another thing too, so a lot of sponsors, the sponsors we talk to for the podcast,
Yeah.
they're saying a lot of the different podcasts are like, give us the notes and whatever scripts early because they have so much stuff to do. And I was telling him like, yeah, I don't think Brendan cares about
No, hell
getting that
no.
stuff done early.
No. Yeah, you can't. Because they want vacation, so they're gonna bank them.
Yeah.
And then,
Yep.
oh hell no! Good luck keeping up. Good luck keeping up. We do this shit every week, no matter what.
Yeah.
Although Brian's missing, but we'll figure that out. That's a whole nother story. Do what you got to do, man. You do what you got to do. My boy Sweeney, who I met in Columbus. He's done a bunch of artwork for me. So when we gotta start doing more collabs together for my tour art. Mike Sweeney, right? Is what I said, Mike
Sean Sweeney.
Sean Sweeney. Sorry, Sean. Sorry, brother. I have a friend named Mike Sweeney. I'm lying. But your name is Sean Sweeney. At Sweeney_7, I want to say on Instagram. Either freaking way, I'll tag him on this thing. He made a, what do you call it? Figurine?
Figurine, yeah.
You call it figurine?
I would say figurine, yeah.
What else would you call it, though? Not a bobblehead.
No,
I don't have
no,
a huge
no.
head on that thing.
That's a legitimate professional figurine.
Yeah, like straight up DC Marvel comic figurine. And this dude got it down to a T. I had no idea he was doing this. It's a big brown figurine. He got the hair right, the face right, the tight ass jeans right. Didn't get the piece in the front that bulky. Whatever, Sean. We'll work on that for the version 2. And then he also got the rolled up jeans, the skinny jeans, and ready? Nate Diaz's least favorite shoes, the Gucci boots. What a great job, man. The detail on the Gucci boots is ridiculous. And I'm holding a mic. God damn it. I love it. I do love it. Now, here's the thing, Sean. Hear me out, bro. Hear me out. Remember when you handed it to me at the Funny Bone in Columbus? And we've done a lot of work. Never met face-to-face. Done a lot of work together. And you're there with your friend who didn't want to take a picture with me. It was embarrassing because I asked him. He's like, nah, I'm good, bro. Thanks anyways. Remember that? But you handed me this figurine, and you went, bro, don't ship it. Take it back with you on carry-on. I went, that's a brilliant. Why would you ship it? He goes, because if you ship it, it's for sure going to break. They're very fragile. I spent a lot of time on this. I went, dude, I would never do that to you. Well, my flight, I had to leave at 4 a.m. I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like carrying this box with me all day. I'm exhausted. I'm going to ship it, but I'm going to wrap it up like it's a goddamn diamond in this box. And so I did that, and I sent it priority mail, UPS, or USPS, United States Post Office. Didn't use stamps.com. Messed up there, but the hotel sent it. It broke, bro. It broke. And just the leg fell off. Bear with me. Leg fell off, but I was able to post it to Instagram, and it looks like it's all in one. And I think the consensus here, super glue is going to actually work for it.
Without a doubt.
But if I were to kick this table, that thing would fall apart. And fall apart like from the knee down. And what's crazy, MJ pointed this out, where it broke is my bad knee. So it's pretty true to detail there. Pretty amazing, man. So shout out to him. You're amazing. I love your work, brother. What else shoot, last night I was at the Comedy Store, Monday night show. I had to go on, I had to follow Jeremiah Watkins. If you know Jeremiah Watkins, if you don't, you better recognize Jeremiah Watkins. He's one of those guys. He's he's young. He's been in comedy for a while. He was in improv before that. He's the opener for Tony Hinchcliffe, and he's all over. He's a regular at the store. But he is so goddamn talented. He can sing. He brings instruments up. He improvs with the crowd. He makes fun of people. He has fun with the crowd. But it's a Monday night, so the crowd can be weird. But following that guy, he definitely knows how to warm up a crowd or just do his thing. But what's interesting about him is you can watch someone and you're like, oh man, yeah, he's gonna make it. Meaning like he's gonna be a huge star. Like he just has those qualities. It's very Jim Carrey-ish, where he's very dynamic, and we were backstage. We were talking about the Andy and Jim documentary. I'm like, have you seen it? He's like, of course, saw the day it came out because he loves Jim Carrey too. And so we were talking about it, and he was saying how Andy has that character, Tony Clifton. Some pour out steak, some French fries. Have you guys seen it? You ever seen Tony Clifton? Huh? You seen Tony Clifton?
Hell, man.
No?
I've seen it, dude.
You've seen it?
Seen it.
Okay. So Tony Clifton's he's that character. I used to do it all the time back in the day. Anyways, he's that character where he's like an asshole. No one wants to work for him. And Jeremiah's like, dude, like 2 years ago, a year ago, he said he's working with Big J Orkerson.
Yeah.
Orkerson. Shout out to Big J. Love that guy. Met him at the Comedy Cellar. We have the same agent, but mad respect to Big J. He puts on a comedy show. I couldn't do it last year, but for sure invite me this year. Anyways, he was doing a show for Big J, and I guess Tony Clifton the real guy who plays him, like the guy, the fucking guy,
Yeah.
who's still alive, Andy's best friend and co-writer, still tours around. And they asked Jeremiah, and he has a band. You know, he does all the stuff for Kill Tony and all that. So they go, hey, you want to play for Tony Clifton? He's like, oh my God, that's amazing. Hell yeah, we'll do it. So he says, we got to get him on the Fighting the Kid. He's brilliant. He goes, so we're like, oh my God, Tony Clifton, this is going to be great. And he calls me like, everyone set? You good? And he's like, the guy won't break character. He's like, you ready to go tonight? I don't want any bullshit out of you guys. Okay? We good? Gonna have drinks? Great. See you. Hangs up. Okay. And Jeremiah's like, oh, Jesus Christ, man. All right. And he's just in character. So then he sees it's a huge crowd, and they're not, it's like a festival. So they're not there for Tony Clifton. They're there for Big J and the other comics. Tony Clifton gets up. Bro, he's old school, man. He's doing the same material he did like in the 70s. And there's like, there's a whole mix. I think it was New York. And there's black people in the crowd, Asian, whatever. And he starts dropping N-bombs. Oh, and like Jeremiah and his band are staring at each other like, what the fuck? Like, we're not part of this, man. Like, and he's just doing, he said he bombed, like bombed hardcore. And he's making racial jokes, and there's like black people in front crowd. So I guess they were like, oh fuck, we don't want them to think we're like his official band, like we're on par for this racist shit he's spewing out. So Big J got up there, was like, hey, just so you know, the band here, these young guys are not with Tony Clifton. Like, that's him. They're actually different. They were just helping him out. I was laughing so hard, man. So hard. Can you imagine? What do you do?
I wonder what those jokes were like. Why we wouldn't say that stuff? I
don't know. His whole thing. Remember, Tony Clifton's whole thing was to be rude and like outlandish and like to piss people off. That was the whole bit. His whole bit. And so a lot of times, like if you watch the doc, but people thought that Tony Clifton was just Andy, but a lot of times it was this other guy that you couldn't tell the difference between them. So like, and they show us in the doc when Tony Clifton shows up to the Playboy Mansion, the only reason Tony Clifton gets in is because they think it's Jim Carrey playing a character. And then he does all this stuff. He's taking pictures with Hugh Hefner and like playing with girls and doing all that, having to get drinks and stuff. And he's doing this thing, and what the fuck is this? And he's doing all that. And then Jim Carrey shows up like 2 hours later and was like, what the fuck? And they kick Tony Clifton out and take the tape from it.
So confused.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
He would book shows. Tony Clifton would book shows because people thought they were getting Andy Kaufman. But that guy would go. So Andy would be in LA and he would have a show in Tahoe, and they would send the other guys. But people were assuming it was Andy, and he'd get paychecks and crazy, right?
Hell?
Yeah.
They look alike or something, or what the hell?
Well, there's so much makeup on. Like, you couldn't tell the wig and everything. And Tony! Crazy.
Jeez.
It's funny, man. We told that I was dying laughing in the back. Dying laughing. I was like, oh my God, can you imagine?
No.
He just starts going on this racial fucking spewing, like, oh shit. But, he's this legend-ish. I can't see him touring around making money if you're doing
That's like Kramer when he was on stage and
Dude,
bombing.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still doing comedy. I saw a billboard for Seinfeld, and it's the first time I've seen some advertising with Kramer on it, and it had Kramer on the billboard. This is down like La Cienega.
What's his real name?
Who?
The guy that plays Kramer on Seinfeld?
Oh, isn't it not Sal? It's like that. It's like a feminine kind of name.
Bryan was, I want to say Bryan was at the Laugh Factory that night.
Michael Richards, that's who it is.
Right.
But yeah. You said he was on a billboard?
He was on a billboard. I thought, God, that's kind of interesting because I feel like most people are negative when it comes to him now. Like, I feel like you don't forget that. Oh, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're super screwed. You're super, super screwed.
I'm hoping he didn't really mean it. He was just like flustered. He didn't know what to say. So maybe it was a mistake, and hopefully
you don't drop N-bombs, though.
I know.
Even if you're flustered. Like, you could be harassing me, and N-bomb's never going to come out. I'm not racist, but it's also not really, it's not my vocabulary.
I think he just panicked and thought it was something he could do. But yeah,
I heard there's a number of things. I don't know if he's an actual stand-up comic either.
That's what I heard, too. He's not.
His stand-up's bad. So then, the crowd turned on him, and then he was like, N-bomb! Like, emergency break, N-bomb. I don't know, man. But obviously, as the character, Kramer,
and it never works.
Hilarious.
Apparently.
He's hilarious.
Yeah,
no,
Kramer,
M-bombs don't work. Definitely don't throw M-bombs in any situation unless you're doing stand-up for the KKK. And then I don't know. Even they're like, come on, dude, be more original. Come on, bro. That's what we say. I don't know. That's a weird path to go down. I got some cool news. Well, I shouldn't say stressful. Maybe a little bit stressful, but more exciting news. My agent Justin called me last night. Oh, and he's like, hey, man, what do you think about doing a show in Boston? A comedy show in Boston. I'm like, dude, I would love that. You haven't been to Boston forever. Last time I was there with Bryan. I've never been on my own. I'd love to go to Boston. I see whenever I post something, people from Boston are like, oh, do a show. He goes, well, what do you think about doing it January 19th? I'm like, January 19th? Why does that sound familiar? And he goes, well, because the UFC is January 20th. And I go, oh, shit, bro, that's UFC 220 in Boston. That's like one of the biggest. They always stack the Boston cards. Mm-hmm. And he goes, exactly. What do you think about doing the Wilbur Theater the night before UFC 220? And I said, oh, my God, that's like a dream come true. But isn't that typically what Rogan does? And he goes, yes. So I called Rogan. I'm like, bro, I know you do all the pay-per-views, especially in Boston. You're from there, for God's sakes. Are you doing a show the night before? Because if you're doing a show, I'm doing a show, I'm going to sell 13 tickets. Like, it's a terrible idea. I'd never compete with him. And he goes, I'm actually not, because I'm shooting my special the following month. I might do a small gig around there, but I'm actually not doing a show there. I went, oh, shit. Hey, is it cool if I do the Wilbur? And he's like, hell yeah, definitely do that. So tickets aren't, I should have the ticket link. It'd be up on TFATK, I'd say the next day. And I'm getting the artwork done now. We're new special tees for it. But
hell yeah.
Big Brown's coming to Boston January 19th, Wilbur Theater. It's my first theater in North America. No, Toronto counts as North America.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that counts.
Canada's part of North
Hold
America.
up. First theater as a solo comedian in America.
There we go.
In the United States.
In the United States.
In the United States. There we go.
Snaps.
This. So I'm pretty excited about it.
That's awesome, man.
A lot of tickets to sell, but I think it's the perfect storm to try and get it done. First theater sell, it would be pretty cool. Pretty crunk about it. Other than that, I'm super, super excited for that. Gonna do some cool artwork that's coming. They added Syracuse on Wednesday night. So if I'm in Buffalo on the 16th, that means I'm in Syracuse on the 15th. So I'm flying straight to Syracuse. So Syracuse, Europe, the Orangemen. I'm going to be dropping Donovan McNabb jokes, and who else is from Syracuse? Marvin Harrison jokes. Oh, my God. Old school. Donovan McNabb, Marvin Harrison will not be in the crowd. However, Syracuse, I will be there. And that is December 15th, the night of December 15th. Pray to the baby Jesus, whoever you believe in, that there's no snowstorms. Because I'm taking the Amtrak train from Syracuse to Buffalo.
Oh, that's actually cool.
Is it?
Yeah, I love trains.
Where'd we take a train? Oh, we took a train from London to Manchester.
Yeah, yeah.
That was nice.
It was really nice.
We had the proper English breakfast. Remember that?
It was delicious.
Everyone
breakfast.
shit their pants.
I love the blood sausage that you guys don't
It's
like.
disgusting.
Or
Yeah, don't.
you
do
didn't
that.
like.
No. Jay doesn't like
It's
it
the
either.
best.
So I'm not eating it. Jay's not eating it for
Bring
sure.
it on my plate. That's what I remember. You guys kept giving me blood sausage.
You eat
It
a
was the
lot of
best.
blood sausage.
So good.
How'd you feel?
It's good. It's extra blood.
Oof. Makes him feel sick, Chet. I'm not gonna lie.
It's good for you.
Yeah,
Iron.
it's good for you. Well, so I'm excited for Boston. They're out in Syracuse. Got a bunch of dates, and we got the first live Fighting the Kid this year at the Comedy Store December 5th, which will be fun. Me and Bryan got to figure out what we're going to do for that. Then Ontario Improv November 30th, and there's less than 20 tickets left at that one. Yeah, things are good, man. I'm excited for all of it. So we should probably get to the UFC and mixed martial arts in general. There's always something going on in this sport, man. Always, always, always. Last week was fun with Deontay Wilder, doing the special bonus episode with him. Love that guy. Shout out to Deontay. And there's just, I feel like in mixed martial arts, it's like it's a soap opera that's unlike any other sport in the world. Like football really doesn't have it. Yeah, this guy gets suspended, this guy's hurt. But with the UFC, it's different. There's a bunch going on, so let's jump into it before I give away all your current events.
All right, first one is Shane Carwin. He said he was asking for a spot on the Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix.
I knew something was up because me and Shane. So remember his His walkout song was "Let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor," and just like nuts, right? The most intense walkout song ever. I'm driving to the gym last week, and I record my face while that song's going on, and I'm just like this. I'm going so intense, Shane, so intense. And then I said, "Hey, remember this song?" And he, we were going back and forth. And then Saturday night, about 10 p.m., I get a text from him that goes, we could still compete with all these guys, right? I didn't respond because I don't want to. I just don't want to get into that. And I knew something was up with that. I'm like, God, I wonder what he's talking about. Well, there you go. So he says, I sent Bellator MMA an MMA request to get. I sent Bellator. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I sent Bellator MMA. Just call it Bellator though. Sent Bellator. Now it's Paramount. A request to get on the alternate for this amazing tournament. I really can't wait to watch it either way, but I'm so pumped for it. I had to get my name on the list. I'd love a real title. Oh, because they had the interim title in the UFC. Shane would do very, very well in that. If Shane Carwin got in that tournament and stayed healthy, he would be your favorite, hands down. Tell me who would beat Shane and go. I'm telling you, if Shane, and now this is a big if, but if Shane Carwin is healthy and you look at the other names in that lineup, do you have any idea what would happen to King Mo and Ryan Bader and Chael Sonnen if Shane punched them square in the face with the right hand?
I can't even imagine him with Chael Sonnen.
Me neither. He might kill a bitch.
Yeah.
He might. But did you die? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I actually did when I saw Shane Carwin kill another man in the ring, not the octagon here. What did Bellator get back to him or no?
It's only he's only reaching out to them, but he said he spoke to Rich Chow, and I guess if something happens, if something happens in that tournament,
guarantee it will.
Yeah.
I guarantee you guys something will happen. Someone's gonna get hurt. Someone's gonna get hurt. There's injuries. Something's gonna happen. These tournaments never go like they're according, like they're supposed to. Also, Mayor can't fight to I think April or May. First of all, so you have a long time, which I'm not crazy about. I think. When there's momentum, like, I posted that 20,000, I think, likes for this tournament. So people are on board. But if you span it over a 12-month period, you lose the hype. I think you need to kind of condense it and make sure to get it done and then capitalize on the momentum. But I don't know if they can do it because they're heavyweights. But I think they should. I really think they should try to fit in like a 4-month window, or I think if you do the whole year, you're going to lose the hype because everyone's so excited about it. And it's like, oh, when's it go down? And then, you don't really know. There hasn't been any announcements. And are you just going to put some of these matchups on various cards? I don't think that's the way to go. I think you put the first round and have it all on one card so we can see it. That'd be crazy numbers. But they're probably, all those guys are a draw, so they're probably going to spread it out, spread it thin, which I think is a mistake. I think
they would take him right away.
Shane?
Yeah.
I don't know what his deal. Well, if he was able to sign with Ryzen, that means he can definitely sign with Bellator. Yeah. They're going to need alternates. So you got Justin Wren, I'm sure would be down to toss his name in that hat. You got Czech Congo. The reason Czech Congo's not in there is because he's so boring and so kind of plays it safe. They don't want him in the tournament because he can beat a lot of those guys, but you don't want to watch him perform, unfortunately, and he's getting older. So you got Justin Wren, Czech Congo, and then you got Shane Carwin. But, man, I got to imagine, I know I'm biased as balls, but Shane Carwin versus any of those guys and him being healthy is a nightmare matchup. Like, what would Chael Sonnen do against Shane? What are you going to do? What would Ryan Bader do? You're forced to strike with Shane, who has a granite chin? And those guys are a lot smaller. Shane's every bit of 265. We saw what he did to Frank Mir. Roy Nelson and Shane were always supposed to fight. Didn't come to fruition. Remember the coaches on the Ultimate Fighter 14. Rampage Shane's just too big, man, for these guys. It'd be super unhealthy. Bader too small, Rampage too small, Fedor too old, Roy Nelson be a fun fight. Mitrione, probably the most athletic, quickest in that bunch. That'd be interesting with him and Shane, but again, good luck with Shane. Chael Sonnen too small. King Mo too small. Frank Mir he fought. I'd love it if they put Shane in there. I don't know why you wouldn't too. Those are all huge names though.
Yeah.
So for someone to get hurt, one of them's gonna get hurt. Someone's gonna fall out. You gotta imagine Shane's on that short list. I love it though. I hope he gets in and wins. I would love that. We'd have to do fight companions if Shane gets in there. What else you got?
I mean, so just looking at this, I kind of feel like, okay, King Mo, at least I see him having a chance, but Chael just seems completely out of place if Shane came in.
Oh, no.
He's just like a little guy against a huge
It's a
dude.
terrible idea. Terrible idea. That's so unhealthy for Chael to fight Shane Carwin.
All right, next one. Guess who else wants to come into that tournament? Roy McDonald. And he said he spoke to Scott Coker about it. And they'll look at him as an alternate as soon as they find out what happens with him in Lima, how good he does. Would that even be realistic? Because he looks even smaller than...
No, not really.
Chael.
I mean, like Roy versus Roy Nelson or Frank Mir or even Fedor. There's just such a size discrepancy. It's just a bad idea. And I get it, but you're taking... And it's very gangster weight what he's doing. He wants to do that, but it's almost too much. Like Shane Roy's terrible idea. I don't even think it would get sanctioned.
Yeah.
I don't think commission would sanction a lot of that. It's a fun idea. I love that Roy's actually game. I think you'd beat probably half of those guys in that tournament just off skills and using good footwork. You're not getting that sanction. Shane Carwin versus Roy would. I mean, no one's ever going to do that ever.
I guess maybe if Shane was in it, didn't get past a certain thing, and then there's only like a few people left.
The only way you could do it is if, let's say, King Mo, Chael, and Bader were like in that next round. He could match up with them and they would get sanctioned. But Roy Nelson, Mitrione, Frank Mir, it's just too much. I don't think he gets sanctioned. But again, Bader, Sonnen, and Mo Lawal. Like Mo Lawal, Roy's a great fight. What else you got?
That's great fun indeed. All right, so someone sent me this, and I couldn't find any other like purses for UFC 217, but he was asking me like, check out Rose Namajunas' show money and Joanna Jędrzejczyk's. Like, how does that happen? So Joanna Jędrzejczyk's show money is 120,000, and then Rose Namajunas was 150,000 to show.
So.
And Joanna was like the reigning champ.
So I'm assuming Rose's 150 to show
yeah.
was I don't think that's in her. I think she got the 150 because she was in a title fight. But there's no way they're paying Rose 150.
Yeah, right?
So they just gave her that bump because if she didn't get that 150, like look at Rose's last fight before that, you know? What
was her last fight?
So when she fought Michelle Watterson, so if you go to
Fox.
UFC on Fox payout, UFC on Fox, Johnson Reyes payouts, she's not even close to that. It's just because she huge card, she fought for the title, so she got a title fight bump. I'm assuming.
46.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you're not going to give you 46 to fight Joanna. So that's what's going on there. They gave her a little bump. Now that she's champ, she's going to get that, champ money now. Good for her. So they're just asking about Rose.
They're asking like, was it a contract thing that
when you fight for a title, sometimes it can be in your. So it was in my contract. Like so, when I redid my contract after Mitrione, if I fought for the title, I got this bump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they put that.
There
There's like certain bumps in your contract. If I was the co-main event, if I'm the main event, if I fight for the title, there's this. I get this much. So that's what's going on there. Good for her. Do you have the current events, the projected pay-per-views for UFC 217?
The projected pay-per-views?
Pretty sure it's 875. I predicted, I think, 750 to 800.
So it was like
Was it a million?
880 or something like that.
Not a million.
Yeah.
And again, people are like, well, Dana said this. Again, it's not even Dana is lying, but you guys put too much weight on what he says. He's a promoter. At the the end of the day, he's a promoter, and he's gonna what he says. Some people take it as gold, you know.
Yeah.
So Dave Meltzer, who's legit as shit of MMA fighting, reports the early estimates of UFC 17 drew 175,000 pay-per-view buys. Which I knew it was going to be big, but I there's no way it was going to do 1 million. Yeah, so like I said, I don't think he was going to do 1 million. We got a big guest. All right, man. I know you left sunglasses, some shit behind the studio, but Tuesday's my day, man.
I know. I've never been a guest on. This is so cool.
All right, man. Well, yeah. Welcome to Big Brown Breakdown.
Big Brown BBB. Because I
BBB.
listen. Yeah, I listen all the time. So this is exciting.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not really a guest, bro. You're not really an MMA expert, so.
Well, I mean, I know MMA, so it's an honor to be here.
Yeah, I guess, man. But you said you're just getting your glasses.
Did you have questions for me or anything?
Oh, let me look at the questions. Oh, weird. None for you. I'm sorry, man. I thought you were just getting your glasses and kind of kicking rocks.
I started acting when I was 22.
Hey, man.
What?
This isn't the Bryan breakdown.
No, but they probably want to know that I'm also going to be in Utah this weekend at Wise Guys. God, it's Saturday. They probably want to know that. I'm not trying to hijack.
They might, man.
I'm not trying to hijack your audience.
And then you're going to be in San Francisco at Cobb's.
Yeah.
Sucking pipe.
Don't say that on your show because I have no recourse. I'm just excited to be here.
I guess, man, but you kind of hijacked the show because you said you had to come and get your sunglasses or something, and then
But I just thought I'd take
training gear.
I thought I'd take this opportunity to say.
I know, but you're in training gear.
I know, but I just want to take this opportunity to say, train hard and read a lot.
All right, man. Well,
you're young. Stay in school.
Okay. Well, thank you for that message.
You're welcome. So this is it, huh?
This is it, man.
Cool. So you sit there.
I sit here.
That's so cool.
Well, when we do our show, you sit there.
I know.
Nothing has changed.
But I
man.
feel like I'm on our show, but I'm not because this is your show.
Yeah, I guess, man.
Fight. I'll do an impression of you. I'm Brennan. Fighting talk. This is fighting. Submission. Hold on.
What, man?
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
What the fuck? What the
Easy now. You're my studio. It's Tuesday.
Is
That's my own figurine that my boy Sean Sweeney made. That's a big... Look at the Gucci boots.
You bring that out?
No, the fans brought it out.
You bring that out. When you do Big Bryan, you're like, oh, well, I'm not doing it with Bryan anymore. It's me. And there's my fucking...
They didn't make a Bryan one.
You look like a
Bryan
fucking... One. You look like an Egyptian magician from the 20s.
Well, do you see the Gucci... Hey! Oh, you son of a bitch!
Oh, no.
You broke my gun.
I did not. I just grabbed it.
No, you...
Well, I swear to God.
Oh, my God.
Who made this?
Well, it's broke now.
Well, who
it's
did
over now.
Sucks at making
figurines. Well, fuck, man.
Fucking Humpty
He worked really hard on that.
So that's what you would look like if you lost your legs in a train
Unbelievable,
accident.
Man.
There you go, dude. Sorry, that's a better look for you.
You know
right
what?
there.
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave now.
What?
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
What?
You broke my figurine.
How was I as a guest?
I'm in the middle of the show. You're the worst guest. You came in here. You broke my gut.
Sorry.
All there's left is Gucci boots.
That's all you care about anyway. That's hilarious. Just your Gucci boots.
It's almost better, isn't it?
It is almost better.
How dare you, though?
I'm sorry. I just came in and threw everything
You're
out.
bull in a china shop.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to just leave, man.
Huh? All right.
Get out of here.
See you later. See you later.
All right, little cameo by Bryan County broke my
Figurine.
my figurine, doll figurine, depends what you call it. At least he thinks he did. But as I told you guys before he came in, I didn't break it. Whoever the USPS guy broke it. Mm-hmm. So where were we? We just shot an audit commercial for their Black Friday, which starts this Thursday at 11 p.m. It's silly as shit, but I think you guys enjoy it. Should be up pretty soon. We'll blast it out on our end. You guys will dig it. So we were early estimates of UFC 217 pay-per-view are at 875,000, which would be the biggest pay-per-view of 2017. Again, it's not it wasn't $1 million. So, I think, $875 is good. I just think, when Dana goes, oh, it's $1 million, and it's not, now you're like, fuck, only $175,000. But that's actually a lot. It's not a bad night for them. What bums me out is $875 for a GSP fight or $875 for 3 title fights. 2 years ago, we would have been like, what the hell's wrong? But now we're like, man, that's a good night. That's what's kind of bumming me out. But that's where we're at. That's the name of the game, and that's the flow of sports and entertainment, and it's a bit of a bummer. But I think I predicted 70-75, but 875, still good. But again, $1 million, that was just not realistic. What else you got?
Let's look at this. All right, so for the UFC to have another deal, a TV deal, they're asking for $450 million.
Mm-hmm. I had a conversation with someone in the mix of this whole thing, and so for UFC just to cover their ass needs like 300 something, and that's with what they're doing. To cover their ass, they need about a $300 million deal
a year. Yeah.
What Fox offered, and so remember when this comes to light and it starts getting around, these negotiations have been going on for a while. I know Fox offered $200 million, which they're expecting the price tag of $450 million, which is not happening. It's just not happening. And the WWE rights are up in 2019, which is a different animal. So now they're playing with that. I think when they made this huge buyout with WME or WMI, whatever you want to call them, they were planning on having ESPN, CBS, everybody involved, all these big players, and it's just not there right now with the current lay of the land. So, I think Fox wants the content. It's going to land up on Fox around $200 million, which is trouble for the UFC and their predictions. They're considering other options so Amazon, which would be all digital, but I don't see that being the smartest idea to grow the sport. And, a huge kind of wrench in this whole equation is the WWE.
Yeah.
And so for Fox, they're in bed with the UFC and they want to make a deal. But if the WWE is going to play ball too, they can fill all that content with the WWE, which has a huge loyal fan base, bigger than the UFC. So it's going to be interesting. It's a little scary. If your ball's deep in the UFC, and when UFC does good, it's good for me. It's good for what's good for the UFC is good for me. So it's a little scary, man. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to figure out. What I think is going to happen is you're going to see them do a multi-platform deal. So you're going to see them probably on Fox. You're going to see them on Amazon, digital and stuff like that. I think it's going to be all over, kind of the way the NBA, the NFL does. But as far as them $450 million for the rights, that is not, I will promise you that's not happening. So I don't know. It's tricky, man.
All right, we'll move on from that. And Colby Covington was on Ariel's show, and he said that he was concussed during the time when he said that, F word, the bad word.
That's hilarious.
So that was one of the reasons why he said it, because Verdum was saying it like on and on and on again, and then when he got concussed, I guess it just slipped his mind.
So he's trolling everyone again.
I don't know.
No, that's what he's doing.
That's the way he's covering for himself, too, though.
Yeah, he's just trolling everyone again, and it's working. You're talking about Colby Covington now. And I stick by this. I told him not to say, go down, homophobic or the racist road. But, if there's a line, you got to go through it. And he's going through it. And now, literally, Colby Covington's in the media not every day. Every day now, everyone's talking about him. So what he's doing is working. Whether you like it or hate it or disagree with it or agree with it, it doesn't matter, because he's getting what he wants out of this. I just thought that where it was weird is him pressing charges. So what did he say on Ari Helwani? I'm outside waiting curbside to get in my taxi. For sure, use Uber. I'm in my taxi. I'm looking down at my Twitter, talking shit to Woodley. And out of nowhere, boom, I get hit across the face. So I'm like, whoa, what's going on? I look and see Fabricio screaming at me with these anti-gay slurs saying, I'm going to kill you. He's coming at me with his coach, Rafael Cordero. We're going to kill you. I'm backing up like, get the F away from me. What are you doing, man? You guys are professionals. All of a sudden, John Wood jumps in the middle and a couple security guards and tell him not to attack me. Fabricio is still screaming at me. I'm going to kill you, Colby. You're dead. So he tosses a boomerang at my face. I kind of got lucky and ducked because I have impeccable reflexes. This is him trolling, and this is making news. Lucky it didn't hit me square in the face, just hit me on the side of the face. They use boomerangs in Australia to hunt kangaroos. People are saying this isn't a weapon. It is a weapon. UFC officials tell me to get out of here and not to fight. We are professional. We are not street thugs. I don't get paid to fight in the street. I get paid to fight in the octagon. Correct. I got to be honest. If you're advising Colby, he's doing exactly what he should be doing. Everyone's talking about him. I just don't like these pressing charges. However, also Fabricio, you were in the fight game for how long? I get it. He disrespected Brazil, and but he was very apologetic to Damian Maia. I don't know if I agree with everything Colby's doing, but from a marketing standpoint, and as far as a publicity standpoint, how can you tell him not to?
Mm-hmm.
It's working.
Everywhere.
He's the most talked about man in that division. How crazy is that? A year ago, no one really knew Colby Covington. Now he's the most talked about 170 in the world outside of probably Conor, Nate a little bit right now because of his Woodley fight, but Colby's more relevant than all those guys right now. I hear more about Colby than I do the champ, Woodley.
Yeah, I see him everywhere.
Everywhere. So it's working. So how can you... But also, if you're a UFC fighter, I get it if you're from Brazil and he said something bad about your country, he's playing the heel. What are you doing if you're Fabricio?
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Brazilian fans love it, and but his encounter previously with Tony Ferguson was a little weird. He keeps picking on these smaller guys. He's playing a heel, man.
They don't like it, man. Because even with it's the same guy too, Rafael Cordeiro.
Yeah,
that guy.
Love Cordeiro.
I heard he's like one of the nicest guys in the world.
Nice guy ever.
However, I guess they're super, defensive of their culture, who they are.
Brazil,
because I remember Chael, like Wanderlei attacked Chael on that one season of Tough, and I think Rafael jumped in the fight too, and then he's on this one too.
Yeah,
they don't like it when people insult.
No, I get it.
The Brazilians,
I get it, but also you got to know it's part of it's a game he's playing. He's playing a game. Does Colby really hate Brazilians? No. Does Colby really want to press charges against Fabricio? No. Did Colby get concussed from the boomerang? No. Does Colby hate Woodley? No. Does Colby hate John Jones? No. It's all an act, for God's sakes, people. It's all an act. It's all an act.
It's fun.
Is The Undertaker really from the dead? No. It's the same shit. Same shit, man. What else you got?
Let's see. Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She's saying that her next fight, that she talked to the UFC, and her next fight will be for the title.
Yeah, no shit. Any other brain busters? So she goes, didn't we cover this one?
I don't think so.
I already spoke to the UFC, and my return is set. My next fight will be for the title belt. I don't know if Rose is going to want to fight in a month. Yeah, we read this one.
Oh, okay.
I'll spend the next 2 months in Poland with my family. Perfect. That's how it should be. Love it.
All right, let's move on. Oh, some updates to Ozdemir. The guy that was allegedly punched.
So let me see what happened. So took place August 12th outside a bar called Capone's in Fort Lauderdale. Hey, Ozdemir, don't go to a place called Capone's. All right. Kevin Cohen, the alleged victim, told police that he went outside after hearing a friend had been knocked unconscious following a verbal altercation with another man. Upon asking who knocked out his friend, Cohen told the cops he looked up and was hit in the face. Cohen said he lost consciousness for about 14 minutes. No one's ever been knocked out 14 minutes, whatever. You'd be dead longer than 7. And he was taken to the hospital where he was treated for concussion symptoms, given multiple staples for lacerations. Cohen said people present outside Capone's home he was hit was Ozdemir that hit him. That would do it. For a lot of police investigated the allegations that Ozdemir also struck Cohen's friend, Sergio Sandoval, but could not reach Sandoval by phone or email. Okay. So do we know why Ozdemir knocked these two boys out?
No. Just that the guy had...
Ozdemir's kind of screwed, man.
His buddy, this guy's saying his buddy was knocked out.
He goes outside and gets sucker punched.
Out, and then he gets sucker punched. And people, according to this guy, people are saying that Ozdemir was the guy. But he actually got arrested, so there had to be a good amount of people looking at it that could...
Yeah, I mean, obviously the eyewitness is going to be key here. God, I can't imagine you can knock two guys out in a bar randomly, cold cock them like this, and then fight DC for a world title. The UFC's flying, they're walking a fine line right now with the Conor McGregor situation. Typically, going off previous incidents with Roy Nelson and these other guys, who have touched referees, they get spent, at least 9 months, if not a year. So, with Conor and going, we took him off December the 30th card. That's bullshit. That wasn't real. That's just all smoke and mirrors. So people are waiting like, God, do something, man. If you want to be taken serious as a league, do something. If you're Ozdemir, what the hell are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Capone's. Well, Daniel Cormier responded, sorta. He talked about it, saying that whoever, he doesn't necessarily need to fight Ozdemir. He'll take on Gustafsson if he has to do that again.
What a bummer division.
Or anyone who was on a streak.
So OSP?
Yeah.
I mean, OSP went 5 rounds with John, a slow, non-cocained up John, but either way, he did go 5 rounds with him.
I'm really bummed out if Ozdemir doesn't get this shot. I really wanted to see that fight.
I kind of do.
You weren't that big on it, right?
No, I mean that the lightweight division, the light heavyweight division is the worst it's ever been right now.
Without
It's
John.
all old. You had no John there. John gets suspended, but John's knocked out the champion twice now. Just devoured him. You got Ozdemir, who has 17 Twitter followers. Who's the next in line? Gustafsson, I would love to see Gustafsson DC. That would make me excited. Gustafsson DC. Outside that, it's just not. No one's a draw. No one in that division is a draw anymore. It's just it's just the way these divisions go sometimes. What else you got?
Let's take a look at this. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you about this. So, according to GSP, Roy McDonald said he shouldn't do this. He shouldn't fight Bisping in the comeback. And so did his coach, John Danaher.
That's fair.
So all these different people in your camp saying that you shouldn't go for Bisping, it wouldn't be a great match for him, as in he possibly might lose.
Which I agreed with, yeah.
When you're in that situation, or have you even been in that situation when your camp didn't want you to fight someone and you went ahead and did it? And how would they even go about doing it? How would
they just say, man, that's a tough matchup. Is there any other? I remember when I got called to do, so I lost to Big Nog. Then Joe Silva called my manager and goes, hey, we want to fight Ben Rothwell. And my team was like, dude, let's give him a goddamn warm up. Ben Rothwell? Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, he's big and slow. At the time, he wasn't the Ben Rothwell where he's on this crazy streak, all that. I was like, oh, he's big and slow. I know he's tough, but I'll destroy that guy. And my team was like, dude, Ben Rothwell is a real vet. I just don't see coming off a loss, Big Nog, your biggest loss in your career, and fighting Rothwell is the next step. And I'm like, yeah, but if I beat him, I'm right back in title contention. So just give me him. I'll just outwork him. And obviously, it didn't go that way. But my team was very hesitating, going, ugh, we don't like the fight. And I didn't understand why. Obviously, now I do. But when you're George St. Pierre, yeah, I can see why he wanted the Bisping fight, but I also see why it seems like, God, it's not a great matchup for you, which I didn't think it was a phenomenal matchup for him either. But, I think George wanted, they trained before. He knew his strengths and weaknesses. He has one eye. He knew that, so.
Going back to Rothwell, he was on testosterone or something. It was too high on testosterone at one point, right? Yeah. Was that anywhere near the time you guys fought? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Look at the weigh-in videos. Not saying he was on stuff. But
there was a time when he looked more for his body type, because he's not.
He was almost more ripped than I was when we fought.
That's what I'm saying. He looked kind of like the most ripped I've ever seen him at that one period.
Not that would matter if he was on. He could be. I could have been juiced to the gills like freaking Overeem, and he would still won that fight. Doesn't matter. What else you got?
Good of you to say. This is cool. Jose Aldo actually gives Conor McGregor a pass on the stuff that he caused, the ruckus he caused.
Oh wow, what's he say?
He said he's just an emotional fighter.
He gets it.
Yeah, he gets it entirely.
I haven't seen the video, but I heard about it. I think it's normal. He's an emotional guy. When Irishman fight Irish people, embrace them a lot. I don't condemn them. He didn't do it for that attention. He's done it before. Yeah, I get it. So he's saying on The Ultimate Fighter when he ripped his pants. The problem is when you slap referees and the commission. That's the. I'm all about passion. I get that, and good for him, and that's what makes Conor McGregor. But you step over the line when you start hitting officials, and that's when you can't do it. That's when you're going to lose your fan base. Well, the Irish probably don't give a fuck, but you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Interesting that Aldo, of all people, was giving him a pass, though.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
All right, check this out. Uriah Hall's pissed off at USADA. And then this is what he wrote.
Oh, wow. Aggressive. F you, USADA. F you for waking me up for no effing reason. I'm sick of all these steroid-using dickheads that make people like me suffer. Yeah, would they wake them at like 4 a.m? It's a little strange. It's a little strange. And the testing is so strict. I can't imagine the UFC, likes all the testing, but at the same time, it's a business move. That's why they're doing it. Mm-hmm. What else you got?
All right, so people sent me this, and MJ saw this too. Unfortunately, a teenage Muay Thai fighter died from cutting weight. She was jogging in her plastics and just collapsed. She's from Australia.
How much weight did she lose? What's going on? It's not, usually when stuff like this happens, obviously it looks horrible for the sport, but I'd be interested to see what's going on here.
She was trying to make 64 kilograms.
So it was an amateur fight, which I'm assuming she hasn't fought a lot. Severe dehydration while she was running. She died 4 days later. Jesus.
Maybe they don't tell her.
So she was trying to make 141 pounds, which isn't that crazy. It depends what she weighted before.
Yeah.
You just got to know the fact. I know the headlines look scary, but was she?
She's just so young.
Was she 190 pounds, kind of 140? Was she 160? Was she 150? Because a lot goes into it where some people's bodies don't respond great to it, and then they die. It's just it's different for everyone. I'd be interested to see how much she lost exactly.
I always find it weird when they're this young, though. I think your bodies, when you're younger, you can do whatever.
There's a point of no return. It's quite extreme and goes beyond dehydration. People may choose to ignore the warning signs because they're focused on what they're trying to achieve, and it's an issue for amateurs. Professionals will be coached. You'd be surprised. They will be monitored. Again, you'd be surprised, sir. Again, I need more details before it's a bummer she died. It's awful, but I'd have to know exactly how much she was cutting, where she started at. You're going to have stuff like this, man. Shit happens. That's a bummer.
That's a bummer.
Yeesh. Poor girl. Poor family.
And this, I don't know how big a deal this is, but so John Jones pushed back his hearing for the most recent failure until February. He was supposed to be here on December 12th. I'm guessing more studies
trying
or whatever.
To come up with more excuses or something?
Maybe that too. He just pushed it back.
Interesting. I wonder what the pros are for doing that. Initially scheduled December 12th in Sacramento. The exact date in February for Jones has not been decided, but he's pushing it back. I wonder why. Does it say any the benefits of that? No.
Just that he did it. So
he just wants more time.
Yeah, you can be skeptical and think maybe they're trying to find more excuses.
Maybe they're onto something, like we just need more time to cement this theory that we have here.
Or that.
Otherwise, I don't know. Because you'd want to assume you want to hurry up and get this over with. But he must have something up his sleeve. Good for him. What else you got?
Check this out, dude. So Angela Magana, she posted a tweet, and it's terrible. She's going back at Chris Cyborg, and then she put Vanderlei's face in place of Chris Cyborg's face for the next poster for Cyborg and Home. She's doubling down.
This is the girl that got slapped, right?
Yes.
What has she done since that, Cyborg? I haven't heard about her at all.
That's
since.
true. I don't remember hearing
Has
about
she fought?
her. No.
She hasn't done anything.
Nothing. And she had that lawsuit thing too, right? I think that kind of went away.
I mean,
but yeah, after getting slapped, doing this.
It's just poor taste. But also, I would assume things aren't going great for her. She hasn't fought, right? Or can you look up what's going on there? Yeah. So a lot of times when people are doing this, granted you can get attention, stuff like that, but it's your unhappiness with yourself. So same as a Twitter troll. Jesus Christ. So she's lost 4 in a row.
Last fight, July 2015.
She's lost 4 in a row. Her last fight was 2015. So she got choked out by Michelle Waterson, and she lost to Tisha Torres, Stephanie Eggink, Jessica Ai. So it's things aren't going well for her. That's a bummer. I hope she finds her way. But to not be in the mix of things and not be pursuing something, and then Jesus Christ, in her story, listen to her story. hopefully, it's Wikipedia, so you never know. Says when Magna was 5, she lived in the streets of Los Angeles with her mother, who happened to be addicted to heroin. She slept in the back alleys and ate out of garbage cans. Eventually, her grandparents gained custody, but Magna was already scarred with the issues she experienced. Her mother overdosed and died when Magna turned 17. In 2007, Magna broke her back falling down the 3 stories of stairs. She suffered 2 horrific auto accidents.
Oh, man.
One of them put her in a coma for multiple days. She has thrice been declared legally dead, and once Magna made contact.
Okay, that's not real.
I wonder if any of this is real against Wikipedia. Yeah, when I see this stuff, I feel sorry for her. I hope she figures it out, man. That's a bummer. It's just throwing shade at people like this. It's never good, man. So there's trolling like Colby's doing to get notoriety. You're ranked number 3 in the world. You're trying to get the title fight. That's a marketing publicist pitch. And then there's this. So this is just pure hatred.
Mean-spirited.
Yeah, mean-spirited. It putting a man's face on a woman's body, especially with cyborg issues, stuff like that. It's not that creative. It's not that funny. It's just poor taste, man. Cyborg's going to be fine. She's world champion. I'm more concerned about Magna, what she's going through. If any of that is real, her background, God, I wish her the best, man. I wish you just want to help people like that. Because whatever she's going through, and when you post stuff like this, it's usually you're unhappy with your own situation.
If that thing's true, too, about her mom being addicted to heroin, then you do want to feel bad for her. But, yeah, don't be doing this stuff.
No, it's lazy, and it's not very creative, and it's mean-spirited, and it's just a bummer. God, I hope she figures it out, man. I really do. What else you got?
Let's move on. So, according to Dave Schaub from UFC, GSP versus Whitaker is set for 221, as long as GSP is down to do it.
The UFC said this?
Yeah, Dave Shaw.
GSP may be contractually obligated to unify Stallions champion Robert Whitaker. But it's not happening, man. No news yet. I think you guys know the X Factor right now is George. How is George doing? There's no way George fights that soon. In February, it's not happening. Move on. Whitaker, move on, brother. You're going to get Rockhold Whitaker in Australia.
Cool. I think that's all for current events, man. There's this, but... So
Jacare Souza, Derek Brunson agree to fight, but on different cards.
Yeah, they both think they're fighting on different ones. So Jacare thinks it's going to be in Brazil, and Brunson thinks it's going to be in North Carolina. They both accepted fights for those dates. I don't know how that happens.
You'll fight each other, but we'll see where it happens at. Boom, man. Should we do some fan questions?
Wait.
God, that Magna stuff bummed me out.
You know there's a fight coming up, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. How much time do you have, though?
I got probably 7 more minutes.
All right. How about you just pick this this guy right here?
Should we? You know what? Should we just finish this tomorrow?
We could.
Let's just finish it
Do the
tomorrow.
odds and everything tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yep. We're going to have to. All right. We are back. Took a little break. By a little break, I mean took a day off. So while you're listening, the first half was shot yesterday, and then this half is shot. It is 11 o'clock on Wednesday. First half is on Tuesday. Last half is on Wednesday. We had to shoot some stuff for Fire and the Kid. We did the Fire and Kid this morning, Turkey Day special, and then I'm just trying to wrap up the Big Brown Breakdown right now. I don't know. There's always something going on in MMA news, so I'm sure we have a few more headlines. What do you got, Jen?
We got 2 more. So John Lineker is going to step in to face Jimmy Rivera at UFC 219.
Love that fight. I mean, I'd dying to see Lineker versus Cody Garbrandt, but that's a great fight.
Cool.
UFC 19. Go back to UFC 19. God, that card's still not just... I think it's fun for the purists, but as far as like being a, you just realize December 30th card. It's a great card though, but it's not, it's going to do shit pay-per-view numbers, but it's a great damn card. So you got your headliner right now, Cyborg, Holly Holm. You got Khabib, Barboza, Jimmy Rivera, John Lineker, Calvillo, Carlos Esparza, Condit, Magny, Roundtree, Saki. Then Kamaru Usman doesn't have an opponent yet, right? Because Meek's out.
It's potentially out, but most likely, I think.
Yeah. Wow. It's a great card. Stacked. Stacked for the MMA hardcore, I should say. Not stacked for a December 30th pay-per-view card, though. Love that card, all the fights on that card, though. What else you got?
Cool. All right. I didn't get a chance to read this yet, but it says Nate Diaz's coach says Diaz should get $15 million for the next fight and probably won't compete at UFC 219.
Yeah, I don't see Diaz taking the fight with Woodley. I think, again, I don't think the Conor Diaz fight is ever going anywhere, no matter if they both lost their next two fights. I still just don't see it going anywhere. But his coach says the UFC doesn't want to give Nate the money, because what's Woodley trying to do? He's trying to get his name up there. He wants to fight the best so he wants to fight Nate, but the UFC doesn't want to pay Nate, so why fight him? We can fight McGregor instead. I saw Woodley talking about Nate being scared homie, but it's not that. It's not about that at all because Nate ain't scared to fight nobody. It's the money. Dana White doesn't want to pay him what he deserves. Does Nate Diaz deserve $15 million? Yes. I wish everyone got paid $15 million. That's not the case. I don't think Nate's worth that. If you look at the whole roster, is Nate versus Woodley for a December 30th card going to bring in that money? Probably not. Also, Nate has to be careful because let's say he fights Woodley and that pay-per-view goes horrible and they give him $15 million, then the UFC knows that Nate isn't a draw without Conor McGregor. And so then your biggest payday against Conor is going to be way less money if you take this Woodley fight. But it's a double-edged sword. So let's say they don't want to give you $50 million. Let's say they want to give you $5 million and you fight Woodley and you beat Woodley and become champion. Well, now you're going to pay a shitload more if you fight Conor as a champion at 70. And you're relevant. Like, you haven't fought so long. Last fight you lost at 70. You have 500 records. You know what I'm saying? So, you go down in the history as one of the greats if you become champion at 170 probably.
He'll be up there for sure.
But it sounds like it's a money issue. So if money is the root of, the whole hold up on this, there's no way the UFC's getting even close to $15 million. Which is a bummer because I'd watch that fight. And December 30th card could use that fight. So.
Cool.
Got some fan questions, brother?
Got some fan questions for you.
What do you got? No MJ today. MJ
no
took
MJ
the day
today.
off.
Think so. All right, so mic'd up 12-12. Not any specific UFC related, but if you started your fight career at this point with your gained knowledge from doing podcasts, interviews, and even stand-up, would your fighting style change? Would you do your camps and diet differently?
God, good question. Would my fighting style change? And it's hard to say. It's all perspective, right? Because if I knew what I knew now, I would never have fought. I would have gotten entertainment earlier. I would have gotten to stand up earlier. So it's tough to say because you're at where you're at now because you walked through the fire and you've experienced all these things, and I wouldn't have the same kind of hearsay or knowledge on certain aspects of fighting or even into my comedy. So I don't know. It's hard to answer that. I guess I would have sparred less, knowing what I know now. I wouldn't have taken punches with Shane Carwin all the goddamn time. I would probably focus more on wrestling and grappling because that was my strength, and not so much. But listen, this day and age, you can't be just a grappler. It's hard. The game has changed now. I would have done probably same amount of training but less amount of time, more hard, higher pace. Wouldn't have sparred as much. Yeah.
Would you have gone straight into stand-up, or what kind of comedy would you have done if you
know.
didn't fight at all?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't know. Probably improv or something.
Improv.
Yeah.
Cool.
What else you got?
All right, Ewan Fraser, BJJ, what is your favorite coffee? And he just had the Christmas blend at Starbucks. Loved it. Do you have any other Big Brown recommendations?
Isn't it nice? That Christmas blend is nice. And everyone hates on it. Like, oh, if you're a real coffee advocate, you don't like Starbucks. Shut up. They make a delicious product. There's a reason they're so successful. Yeah, is it as good as Groundworks, like a small, coffee shop. No, probably not, but it's damn good, especially producing for the masses. Chris's blend's amazing. I gotta be honest, man. These are guys doing my coffee, but Black Rifle coffee is my favorite. That's what I drink every morning. If you see me drinking here, it's Black Rifle coffee. I like a dark, full-bodied coffee. So black coffee, especially the Black Rifle coffee, is my go-to, and that's who's gonna be doing the roasting and all the beans and packaging for the Big Brown coffee, which will come out early next year. So Black Rifle coffee is my go-to. Check them out, man. Great product. Packaging, they just do it well. They do everything right. It's my favorite coffee.
Cool. Do you put just almond milk in your
just
Christmas
almond
blend?
milk, non-sweetened almond milk? I don't do any artificial
Nothing
sweeteners.
else?
Nothing, just almond milk. I either have it black or almond milk, but no sweeteners.
Cool.
No sugar, nothing in it.
All right, Zombie Bro wants to know,
Great name.
where do you see the UFC heading in 10 years? Will these money fights continue on? And can you give us some insight on more weight classes and what that means for the sport?
Damn, loaded question. So as far as the UFC in 10 years and the money fights, listen, the money fights is a double-edged sword. It gets you the ratings and gets you to sell the company for $4 billion for that year. But looking back, they didn't get to where they got and sold $4 billion by putting on money fights. They got there by putting on the most competitive, the most compelling fights in the rankings, even though there was a ranking system. But we kind of knew, who should be fighting who. And, Sherdog and MMA Junkie had their rankings. So there was still a ranking system that we held, accountable. Now, with the money fights and, they're looking at Nate Diaz Woodley or, Connor, Nate, and these kind of random fights that we're getting. They're fun to watch, but it holds up, GSP Bisping, you can see now it holds up the divisions. And at the time, you get the pay-per-view numbers, but over, there's no shortcuts to this game. So over the long haul, ends up actually kind of fucking you, I think. I really do. I really do. So in 10 years, I think in 3 to 5 years, whoever starts taking over the UFC and run it once Dana leaves won't be so hi-ho on these money fights. You're going to see more of a pure sports approach, which gets you back on track. Now, I do like the money fights. I think there's room for them, but you can't ride and die off money fights, which is what they're doing right now. Everything, whole money fights, but sometimes talent, can bring people to the sport eyeballs. So they're in a tough spot right now because you've made your bed. Money fights is what we ride on, and you don't have a lot of money fights. You don't have a lot of main eventers because you haven't put the marketing or the time to build those guys into money fighters. You're banking on the CM Punks and the Brock Lesnar's and the Ronda, the one and dones here and out, which there's no longevity in that. Dangerous game. Out, yeah. Super dangerous game, man.
Cool. We got Kevin doing, I know Wilder's your boy, but why didn't you ask him why he hasn't fought anyone decent? And soon criticize Joshua's performance, Wilder's fighting Milkman and Postman.
Yeah, I'm assuming this guy's British, which I get it, man. I love how faithful and loyal people are to Anthony Joshua from England, and I love all the England fans who listen, and I toured out there, some best shows I've ever done. But here's the thing. People go, God, why don't you bring up who's Wilder fighting? But before Klitschko, Joshua wasn't exactly blowing the hair back off anyone. He's a phenomenal talent, best heavyweight in the world, him or Wilder. But that being said, all these heavyweights aren't fighting. It's not like the UFC. It's not like, at a 147-pound division in boxing or 140-pound division. There's not the amount of killers. So when you say, bring up his competition, well, if I go through Joshua's competition, it's not great. Is it better than Wilder's? Yeah, but the heavyweight division, there's not that many big names or that many tough guys out there. That's the lay of the land. So if I have Wilder in here, I go, man, how about the guys, the competition? Oh, you mean the 3 guys he's tried fighting? So you're telling me Luis Ortiz in stiff competition? He's scheduled to fight him. Ortiz failed because of steroid test, so he can't fight him. What about Pulev, the Russian? Well, he was going to go to Russia and fight him. He's pretty fucking tough. Stavern, granted, he had 2 years off, but he's also a kind of a tough guy in the grand scheme of heavyweight division. So, you can paint whatever narrative you want about any heavyweight, whether it's Wilder, Joshua, Klitschko, Fury, Parker. Who's Parker fighting? So we can go through all this. They're all very, very talented, but nothing's going to get done unless they fight each other. I don't care about how they got there. I'll see 39-0, 38 knockouts. Oh, but he's fighting bums. Is he? A lot of these guys are professionals. A lot of them do have heavy credentials. A lot of them are undefeated. A lot of them have been knocked out. That's the heavyweight division. He just happens to be pretty fucking good at it. So again, you can go through anyone's record in boxing besides the lighter weight class, but especially at light heavyweight, you can go through the record and go, oh God, he hasn't really fought. He's fought one or two tough guys. That's the lay of the land. So you're mad at Wilder for what? Because the state of the division? Stop it. What else you got?
All right. Schwalgotha, what do you think about Joe Rogan's new MMA podcast? Are you going to be a part of it?
Yeah, this is interesting. When Joe did his MMA podcast, first of all, when he called it Joe Rogan's MMA Hour, I sent him a text. I screenshot. I went, "You serious, bro?"
That?
Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't know.
Awesome.
How hilarious is that?
So funny.
He's like, "Ah, fuck, I messed up, man. I apologize to Ariel." I'm like, "Bro, you should just call it Joe Rogan's Big Brown Breakdown. You should call it Rogan's Breakdown. Just take over my shit too." I find it so hilarious. He had no idea.
Good thing you talked to
the
him.
ultimate trolling. It was so funny, so funny. People, I was getting DMs and texts and Instagram like, "Oh my God, I thought you guys were boys. I can't believe you started an MMA show." Oh no. I can't believe he hasn't started one before. He's the most brilliant mind in mixed martial arts, and you want to hear his opinion. He actually works for the UFC, and he's been doing it longer than anyone. So why it took him so long to do a show by himself, I have no idea. I'm sure I will be on it. We always collab together. He's my brother. He's one of my best friends. But at the same time, too, you guys got to realize something. Joe Rogan, Billy Badass in his garage, Mike Tyson, whoever decides to start a podcast in regards to fighting, if you want to start a podcast with a fighter and comedian and you think it's a threat to the fighting kid or the threat to what, there's no threat. There's no threats. You're not stealing viewers, nothing like that. You can listen to all of them. So for some reason people, I'm a Joe Rogan fan. I can't listen to that. Or I'm a Brent Schaub fan. I can't listen. What are you talking about? In the world we live in, I listen to 15 podcasts. I signed up for a new one just now. Someone recommended to me. It's about like old story, Hollywood days. It is called You Must Remember This.
You must remember this.
So just going through right now, this, and I'm just reading off. This is my podcast right now. I just subscribed to You Must Remember This, Under the Skin with Russell Brand, WTF with Mark Maron, the MMA Beat, Luke Thomas podcast, Anik Florian, Joe Rogan Experience, and the Hardcore History. I have a million podcasts I listen to. Do I listen to all of them all at once or every week? No, I get around to them. But this whole thought of he's stealing listeners from them or he's doing no, it's just not like that, man. I can't believe Rogan hasn't done it before. And I'm sure we'll be doing a lot more shows together.
Cool.
So please quit asking me that. What else you got?
All right, bear with me. This is pretty long. Mario O'Caramello. Do you think the heavyweight Grand Prix is a big step for Bellator to start getting more ratings, or do you think the lack of new talent in the tournament hurts the business in the long run, seeing as most are fighters over the hump that don't have many fights left? If they could fix it by strategically putting your top prospects in those cards.
Yeah. So what he's saying basically, so Bellator's using these older, bigger names to draw attention. They should put the younger up-and-comers underneath them so they get the exposure. You're not reinventing the wheel there. That's exactly what Scott Coker does. That's kind of his game plan. Always has been his game plan. To be honest, that's most of what combat sports is, whether it's boxing. Floyd Mayweather puts his young upcoming fighters on his undercard. The UFC does the same thing for most of their big fights. It's nothing new. You're just taking advantage of all the eyeballs on, say, a Chael Sonnen, a Kimbo Slice, rest in peace, a Fedor, King Mo, Bader, Roy Nelson, and you put these young guys on them so people can grow to like these other new fighters. Bellator's whole thing is going to be, you have all this excitement, and I went over this on the current events, but we'll go over it real quick. You have all this excitement of these heavyweight matchups. And if you spread it thin over a year, you're going to lose that hype. So if I were them, I'd figure out a way to try and get it done faster. I know with commission and the matchups and injury stuff like that, you need some time, but I would take advantage of this and really market that heavyweight tournament Grand Prix. I think it's a brilliant idea. I think it's to do well. I think you are going to have some injuries, but you have guys like Shane Carwin, Justin Wren, Czech Congo, a bunch of other guys who'd be willing to step in. But I think you knock it out fast. Even if you need to use a lot of substitutions, I think that would be the best game plan.
Awesome. Do you have time to do a quick breakdown on the next fight coming up, Gastelum versus Bisping?
Oh, boy. That is this Saturday, and that is a 4 a.m. start time on Fight Pass. And then, the whole card's on Fight Pass. I'll have to watch the highlights. I don't have Fight Pass. And it's also at 7 a.m. But by the time it starts,
4 a.m. for us.
4 a.m., so
Pacific.
that means Bisping's fight at 6 a.m. I don't have Fight Pass, so it doesn't matter, but I'm sure I'll see it. Hopefully they replay it on the internet or some shit. Just looking at the card, I mean, the only one I'll put time into, really. So you got, and it's no disrespect to anyone else, just I forgot that this card was this weekend. So you got Michael Bisping, Kelvin Gastelum. And the big issue here, because if it's a healthy Bisping, long rested camp versus Kelvin, I think it's a great fight. It gets fight of the night potential. They match up very well. The style makes sense. There's a lot of that. What I don't like about it is it's 21 days after Michael Bisping just got, choked out, KO'd. Let's be honest. What put him on the ground was a left hook by George St. Pierre. And so that's a little scary. The travel, granted he's in shape, but again, you're not really in the peak shape because there's timing to this game. But there's no one more game than Michael Bisping. I don't think 185 is a natural home for Kelvin. We seen him do well against the older guys in the heavyweight division. But then when you fought a guy who was a real 85er with skills, he didn't match up great against him. He landed a good right hand on Chris Weidman, but Chris Weidman was the champ as the natural 85er, and he's not the biggest 85er, but he's a natural 185er. But before that, especially 85, so he had the Tim Kennedy fight where Tim didn't look amazing that night, but Kelvin did, and then Vitor Belfort obviously clearly over the hump, and that got overturned. And now you're fighting, then he fights Chris Weidman, loses that. So I'm not thrilled about Kelvin at 85. I think he can compete with anyone, but the upper echelon guys can give him a lot of problems. Even Bisping with the right amount of time, 100% healthy, fighting anywhere but Shanghai, I think Bisping would be a tough matchup for Kelvin. Now take all that away because Bisping's taking us 21-day notice, coming off that big kind of letdown of GSP. There's no way he's 100%. There's definitely going to be brain trauma lingering there. You have the long flight, the bad taste GSP, the young, hungry line in Kelvin. He's actually a nightmare to deal with. Great footwork, good boxing, more power than Bisping. It's just I'm not thrilled about it. I'm just not crazy about it. I'm the biggest Bisping fan. I love Bisping. Both of them have good cardio, especially 85 for Kelvin. Weight's not an issue. I would like, because Kelvin's young. Kelvin's going to go on to do great things. Kelvin's going to be fine. He has all the talent to be world champion at 170 if he gets serious about his diet and figures that out. Michael Bisping, so this is his last one. He's going to have one kind of sail away fight in England, in London. It's going to be a great card. Who knows who's going to be against, but that's going to be his kind of sign off fight. This is, to me, the pros, you get a big payday. The cons, God, there's so many to list. I think going on a 2-fight losing streak and then fighting your last hurrah in London, I guess that's all right. I just don't want to see Bisping lose again. But the reason why we love Bisping is there's no one more game than Bisping. You're gonna see the kind of layover and the injuries and why they give guys 30-day suspension, 45-day suspension, 60-day suspension when a guy does fight and gets concussed. And I think Kelvin Gastelum lands a good, left or right hand on the chin of Bisping, and Bisping gets wobbled, and Kelvin finishes him off from there.
So you got Kelvin.
If I'm betting money on it, I got Kelvin. What I want to happen is Michael Bisping goes out there, does his thing, and wins the fight, and rides off into the sunset, and then has one last fight in London. I'm rooting for Michael Bisping. I don't think he gets it done, though. I think we see why the commissions are in place, not in China, obviously, but in the States and other mandatory sanctioned bodies give these guys these long kind of suspensions. It's for their own protection. But when you want to fast forward it and take, the shortcut, you're going to find out why. And Kelvin Gastelum is very quick, very heavy-handed, very well-rounded, good cardio, good footwork. It's not a great, stylistically matchup for Bisping after being concussed and choked out. With a long layoff, long rest, a proper camp, you got different fighting hands. I don't like it. Those precautions there for a reason, and Kelvin's a nightmare.
Cool, man.
Boom. Who you taking?
I got to be honest, ever since the Rockhold fight when Bisping came in out of nowhere and took him out, I've always doubted Bisping before that, but this one I think it could be like that magic thing where he just comes out.
Yeah, I mean, definitely can. I hope that happens.
Knockout, but definitely.
Yeah, I hope it happens. I love Bisping.
Cool.
So we'll see what happens, man. I'm sure I'll see it online, but I won't be watching it live at 6 a.m. Just can't. That's a bummer all the way around. Is that it, my man?
That's it, dude.
And boom, I think while we were doing this yesterday, I was hoping I would be able to do... Did I talk about the Wilbur Theater in Boston yesterday a little bit?
The one with the Rogan? That one?
Yeah, right?
A little bit.
Yeah, I was hoping it happened or no? Anyways, long story short, both our memory. Why you don't have brain trauma? So you have no reason why you can't.
I might
remember.
have brain trauma.
No, from playing the flute or whatever.
No,
you hit in the head.
I got hit in the head before.
From what?
Fight.
Jesus Christ! All right, man.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it off here. Anyways, it's now a different day. It's Wednesday, and it's official. The night before UFC 220, the huge pay-per-view in Boston, I will be performing live at the Wilbur Theater in Boston, January 19th. Those tickets will go on sale very, very soon. Stay tuned for that. I'm so excited about it. Rogan isn't doing a show there, so I'm coming in and I'm doing a show. Boom. It's going down. tfatkcom for tickets. The link will be up soon. I will blast it out on my social media. You know how it goes. And then we also added Syracuse to the Buffalo tour. So you got Syracuse on the 15th, Buffalo 16th, 17th, and 18th. Get your tickets right now. That is all in December. Syracuse, December 15th, then 16th, 17th, 18th, Buffalo. New York, tfatkcom for tickets. Then January 19th, that's a big one. That's a big one for me for many of reasons. But January 19th, live, Wilbur Theater, the night before the big UFC 220 in Boston. I will be there, tfatkcom for tickets. I love you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy that dry-ass turkey. If you have some great pie, send me pictures of it. Enjoy your pie and coffee, for God's sakes. You guys deserve it. As usual, I'm Brendan Schaub. Bigger, browner, badder. I'm out.